Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Philly Pod. It's Monday, October the 3rd. I'm your host, Dave, along with my good friend, my buddy, Mike. Mikey, how we doing, man?
Doing pretty well. Kind of boring with the Eagles bye week, but you know what? It is what it is.
Wow, you thought it was boring. I thought it was, even though it was an Eagles bye, I thought it was a great sports weekend. Yeah, we had a lot going on.
Well, yeah, I mean, in terms of that, but I'm just referring to the Eagles not playing, and I kind of...
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. In the city, there's always a lull in the city whenever there's an Eagles bye week.
Especially after a big win like they had last week.
Yeah, you get into the groove of the season, and it all just kind of suddenly stops with the bye. But a lot of big things happened. Of course, over the weekend, we had the Ryder Cup.
Yes,
Ryder
Team
Cup
USA.
Yeah, Team USA, man. Taking down Team Europe. Final, I believe, was 17 to 11. A pretty thorough defeat.
Yes.
Of the Europeans, which was nice to see. The Americans, we hadn't won since 2008. Should have won it back in 2012, but they had that epic collapse on Sunday. But man, that was good to see. Dominated singles play.
Nice.
Got a lot of points there. The Americans really played well. So that was big. And then, you had the unfortunate news over the weekend pertaining to the Philadelphia 76ers and Ben Simmons. Wow, just devastating news.
It's a big loss. It's definitely a big loss. Your number one, first overall draft pick, you end up losing him until December. Of course, you're going to have rehab and all that going on at the same time. Yeah,
it's unfortunate. In case you missed it, Ben Simmons is going to be out for approximately 3 months with a broken bone in his foot. He's going to require surgery. He's going under the knife, I think, Tuesday. Yeah, which would be tomorrow. And, with rehab and all that, it's looking like he'll miss 3 months. In the grand scheme of things,
it's not horrible because you have Joel Embiid. You still have Nerlens Noel. So it's not like we don't have other Sixers, available.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's not devastating.
No,
he's going to be out for a few months. It's not like he broke his navicular bone.
Yeah.
This isn't the Joel Embiid Yao Ming injury that changed his careers. It's a setback. It was unfortunate. Rolled his ankle and wound up breaking a bone in his foot. It's a minor setback.
Yeah.
You're still going to see Ben Simmons get on the court. He'll work. He'll train. He'll do all those things. So I'm not the least bit concerned about this affecting his ability on the court. It just stinks.
It does.
It sucks, man.
You have so much energy heading into the season.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of like, you lose a little bit of that. And it seems like whenever we draft someone, they're either hurt or they're in the middle of rehabilitating, their injury.
It's really just 2 people, though.
Yeah, true.
Well, 3. You kind of true. You had Embiid, Noel, because remember Noel had the ACL tear when they drafted him.
Well, you know what? It's not like we were expecting much out of the Sixers anyway this year. There's still a couple of pieces missing from being true contenders.
No, they're a ways still. They still need some guards better than what they've got right now. But there was just a lot of hype. I was really looking forward to seeing Ben Simmons play.
It feels like you've been punched in the gut.
It is
so excited, and then you end up getting punched, and you end up losing all that air. And
yeah, we didn't expect the 76ers to do anything special this year anyway. It's just there was a lot to look forward to about the kid, and you're still going to get to see it. It's just it's on the back burner now, even further.
Yes.
By the way, I got a bet with one of my buddies.
Oh, really?
Ben Simmons this year.
Oh,
so he's not big on Ben Simmons. I don't know what film he's been looking at. What he saw in college. He thinks he's overrated. He thinks Simmons is going to be a bust. So we were out watching the fight a couple months ago, and right away I jump in. I'm like, all right, well, what do you mean he's going to be a bust? I'm like, there's no way. This kid's too good. So we made a bet, and we had to define parameters.
Okay.
All right, for the bet.
Over under.
Sort of, yeah. Basically, so here's what we decided on. It's a dinner bet. For the next time we go out to the fights, the loser will pay for the winner's dinner.
Okay.
So here's what we said. we set lines for Ben Simmons this year at 15 points per game, 5 assists per game, and 5 rebounds per game. I took the side that he will average at least 15 points, 15 boards, and 15 assists per game. So he will do better than that.
Right.
And my buddy's on the other end of it thinks he's going to do worse. The only one I was like, I think 5 boards are going to be cake for him. 5 assists, I think he should be good with. The only one I was a little worried about were the 15 points.
Right.
But then I saw he put on the muscle in the offseason. He's up to 250 pounds, and I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Because he'll be able to get down low and make those plays down low.
Yeah, he's going to be able to drive to the lane. Exactly. We did put a 20-game minimum on it, though, in case there's an injury.
Yeah.
So I feel like if he can just get on the court for 20 games, I like where I'm standing on that bet.
I do too.
It just sucks.
It does.
You know? But anyway, we'll get to see Ben Simmons play eventually.
Definitely.
But as you know, well, we were talking about it last week. Flyers action. The Flyers season starts in 11 days.
Yes.
11 days. So we figured it would be appropriate we do a little Flyers preview show today. And Mike, you are the hockey aficionado between the two of us.
Yes.
There's been a lot of storyline going on through Flyers camps.
Yes.
And through the preseason, there are a lot of guys who've been having some pretty solid displays so far.
Yeah, 2 guys to keep an eye on, and they're still with the roster at the moment. Ivan Provorov and Travis Konechny.
And they're both young, too.
Yes.
That's what's impressive to me.
They're both under 20. So if they wouldn't have made the club, they would have had to go back to the juniors.
Right.
There's a strict AHL rule, American Hockey League rule, where you have to be at least 20 years old by the time the preseason starts in order to play with the American League Hockey Club, American Hockey League Club. So, which would be up in Lehigh with the Phantoms.
Right. It's exciting. It's exciting to see these young guys come in.
Yeah. We have a good young stable of defensemen that are waiting in the wing.
We're loaded with defensemen, even this year and coming up through the ranks.
Yes. And then, I think what the Flyers desperately need, and Konechny might be able to give this, is a legitimate goal scorer.
He's looked good.
He has.
I mean, he's had a good preseason, had good camps. It looked really good all throughout the offseason. And it would be nice if Konechny can turn into that player.
Yes.
Because while Giroux is a very, very good...
He's more of a playmaker. Giroux is more of a playmaker.
Right. And while it's nice that we have that with Giroux, he's getting up there in age.
He is.
And he's a guy who's been, statistically, he's been declining.
He didn't crack the Canadian roster for the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, he's been declining the last 3 years.
Right.
So at some point, we're going to need that player to replace him.
Definitely.
And I don't know, he's still young. He's 19. He's 19 years old. Konechny is. So, can he be that guy? I don't know.
And I'll tell you,
it's kind of early to tell and to say that.
And I'll tell you what, hockey these days, it's a game of youth. You look at most of the good teams, they have a good mix of veterans and young guys, and the Flyers are finally starting to realize that. I like what Ron Hextall is doing. He's stockpiling draft picks. He's been it's been very tough because of the cap space issues that we've had, courtesy of the previous GM Paul Holmgren. They've been stuck in, as quote unquote cap space hell, as they call it.
Yeah.
So
Holmgren left them
in a bad situation.
Yeah, he did.
The Cavier contract, the Chris Pronger contract, the Andrew McDonald contract. Yes. It's just a big mess. The Ilya Brizgalov contract.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's such a mess there that I think Hextall has done a fantastic job of getting things reorganized for the Flyers' future.
See, I like the approach. I like stockpiling picks, stockpiling the young guys, the young assets. And the Flyers are poised. They're not ready this year.
No.
They're not going to be ready for a few more years. But they're poised to be a legitimate Stanley Cup contender.
Some are saying either next year they'll make a serious push, or the year after that.
See, I'm probably thinking it's more realistic 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
You know, in that 2018, 2019, or 2019, 2020 season.
Yes.
It's looking like it's going to be a little more realistic. I would love to see them be able to compete next year, but there's a couple pieces I think they're missing. Still, like you said, you still need a legitimate goal scorer. We need to get better on the penalty kill, because that was something that was really
that bit the Flyers in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That was a weakness of them last year, and they got exposed in the first round against the Capitals.
And you know what? They also have a good young coach in Dave Hackstall.
Yeah, what do you think of Hackstall?
I like him. He's turned some of the, and I noticed this as the season went along. Some of the players that would take stupid penalties, they learned to restrain themselves, and that definitely helped. I think he's a coach. He came at a good time because he's an outside coach. He's a coach that he comes from the University of North Dakota.
That was an interesting hire for them.
Yes,
traditionally they have like to stay within the organization. You know,
but I like the idea of fresh blood. They seem to have a little more of a jump, especially when Shane Gostisbehere came up last year, and he turned this season around for the Flyers.
Well, there was no doubt when Gostisbehere came up, he brought new life to the team in the season, and there's no argument. He came up, the Flyers went on that run, snuck in the playoffs there.
I'll tell you what, I went to that game, a game last year, and I got to see Gostisbehere play. Man,
you're big on him. That's your boy.
Yeah,
Ghost is your boy.
Yes, and when he scored that overtime winner against Carolina on Rod Brindamore's Hall of Fame night, I was just excited. I was excited. I could tell this kid was something special, and I'm excited to see what this future brings for the Flyers.
Well, the future's bright, man. I mean, with Gostisbehere, like you mentioned, Provorov,
yes.
Another defenseman.
He was last year. He was the CHL Defenseman of the Year and WHL Defenseman of the Year.
It's exciting. I mean, I'm excited to see the Flyers have some good young defensemen.
They do.
You have a potential goal scorer there with Konechny. Giroux's on the decline, but he's still going to give you some solid production.
Of course, Jacob Voracek. Another guy, Wayne Simmons, who led the team in scoring last year.
So what do you think is going to be your first line right now? Your number one line? Not to put you on the spot, but
Simmons, Giroux, and Voracek.
Okay.
But yeah. So we'll see. We have a healthy Giroux, a healthy Voracek. Health is going to be the key moving forward this year. If those guys can stay healthy, I think the Flyers can make the playoffs, and maybe steal around. It all depends on how quick of a start they get off to.
Well, that's actually a perfect segue into what a couple of questions I have about this Flyers season. And
okay.
One of them is, what are fair expectations for us as fans for this Flyers team? Obviously, last year we stuck into the playoffs as an 8th seed. Come January, it really looked like we weren't really in a position to.
Percentage-wise, we only had like a 5% chance of making the playoffs.
So I felt like it was the fact that we made it to the playoffs last year based on that run was kind of a bonus.
Yes.
And anything we did after that was sort of like, all right, we're playing with house money.
And that's how you're not alone. A lot of the people felt that.
I was one of them. I had written them off in January.
A lot of the people felt the same way, especially in that first round against the Capitals. And they explode some very important weaknesses that the Flyers have. But to get back to your question, their expectations, you get off to a quick start, we have a good chance of making the playoffs. Maybe you get the 6th or the 5th seed, maybe.
Wow, you think they get that high? Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, so that would be the ceiling, you think, for this team.
If they can get off to the quick start, avoid the slow start, get off to the quick start, maybe they steal around. Maybe. And that's a big maybe because, consistency has to be there in order for me to believe that. Obviously, if we end up playing the Capitals or the Penguins in the first round, forget it.
Yeah.
By the way, I just wanted to bring this up real quick. Matt Murray the goaltender that won the cup for the Penguins last year, he'll be out 3 to 6 weeks. He's out 3 to 6 weeks.
All right, so maybe they have an opportunity to gain some early ground in the division.
But the only issue is you got Marc-Andre Fleury, who is also a former cup winner himself.
He's pretty good himself.
So they got a good goalie tandem out there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you mentioned getting to the playoffs and stealing around. When you look at it logically, I mean, if you're going to look at it that way, the way they should progress, obviously they made the playoffs last year, lost around. The way they should progress, in theory, is to make the playoffs and win a series, as you said. I think they can do that, and I think that's a fair expectation for this team.
Yeah.
Make the playoffs. At the very least, contend in the first round.
Yeah,
the series went 6 games last year against the Capitals, but
they were holding on by a very.
Yeah, did anybody really think they could beat the Capitals?
Yeah, no. Neuwirth, he did a fantastic job, and honestly, I think after what he did last year, I think he should be starting. The only issue is he's got health issues. He can't stay healthy. Yeah,
Neuwirth has health issues, and you're paying Steve Mason a lot of money.
Yeah, so
that's another problem
Mace
right there.
Is the current starter.
Yeah. And that's one of that's one of the reasons why, Neuwirth played really, really well in the playoffs.
He played fantastic.
He did. He had a nice run there against the Capitals. But I look at the goalies on this team, and I just don't know that I see people that can really make a difference in winning games. Don't get me wrong. Neuwirth's good. I'm not a Mason fan at all. I thought Mason looked horrible when he put him up against the Capitals. Some of the best of the best. They did. Giving up a 100-footer in that. And I forget what was it, game 2?
Yeah, it was something like
So I'm on record. I've never been a big Mason fan. I just look at the goalie position and I feel like that's something. While Neuwirth is going to have his moments where he looks really well, ultimately I think that's something that's going to catch up with him. And their penalty kills. Still, I mean, they were bad. The penalty kills last year. They were one of the worst in the league. And that really, and that was something that, like we said,
the Capitals
exposed that. And I right now, I can't say they're going to be any better in that department.
No. Yeah.
I have to see it first.
Yes.
But if they can fix those things, obviously tighten up things on the defensive end, then you can kind of cover things up for when Neuwirth's not having a great game or when Mason's in goal.
Yeah.
If they can do those things and show some improvement there, if they can get a little bit better putting the puck in the net, I think you could see them take a playoff series.
And you know what? I just realized something. Dave Haxtell now has some coaching experience in the playoffs. So now he's a little more comfortable with
that was big. You can't underestimate that. You get a very young team. You get them. You get their feet wet in the playoffs. Yeah.
So now he has some ideas what to do, and how to make adjustments in a playoff game. Now that they've made the playoffs in his first year of being a head coach.
Yeah, that was nice to see. It was all nice to see. It was spurred on by Gostisbehere coming up. They turned it around. They played better. But this team's still a few years away from seriously contending for a Stanley Cup.
I would agree.
I know there's a lot of Flyers fans out there that always hey, we got it this year, and not quite. You got to, talking with some people. I know a lot are really pumped up for the year, but we got to pump the brakes a little bit. They're still not there.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, the way you mentioned that. EA did their simulation, and they had the Flyers women. I'm not lying.
Stop.
You can look that up.
Oh, man. Are you serious?
I am not joking.
They had them coming out of the Eastern Conference.
Yes, and winning the Cup in 7 against the
Capitals. They win the Cup.
Yes.
Oh, man. I don't see that.
Yeah. I don't see it either, but I thought it was kind of funny. I thought I'd just bring that up real quick.
Well, I don't know. I don't think EA has a really great track record of predicting those things.
No, they didn't, because last year they had the Islanders winning the Cup, and they didn't.
No. Yeah. Well, EA Sports, we appreciate it.
Yeah, hit the brakes.
Yeah, we're all at the pump the brakes, but they're getting there.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
There. But you know what? And again, with that defensive core, defenses win championships.
They do, but that's where the Flyers weren't that great last year.
Yeah.
They had problems killing the penalty,
mm-hmm.
and they had problems putting the puck in the net at times. So, They got decent goalie play at times last year, but if they can improve those two areas that I just highlighted, then yeah, I think it's fair to expect another playoff berth and possibly a first-round win. And don't forget, guys, you can catch us, the Philly Pod. You can catch us on SoundCloud, download us for free on iTunes.
Who doesn't like free?
That's right. You can catch us on YouTube as well, our YouTube channel. Follow us at the Philly Pod. And follow us, or not, what the heck is it, on Facebook? Like us?
Like us on Facebook.
Yeah, like us. Yeah, there it is. Mike taking care of the Facebooks. I'm doing all the Twitter stuff, so I'm getting pretty Twitter savvy.
Yeah, he's doing a heck of a job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, we're making that pretty well on Twitter. Facebook's stalling a little bit, but we think we got some things to
I got some plans.
Yeah, I think we're going to be all right. But again, follow us on Twitter at the Philly Pod and like us on Facebook. So another thing. We got to mention this. Yesterday was the end of the baseball regular season, and it marked the final game. It's going to be the final game. Maybe not of his career, but the final game Ryan Howard is going to play in the Phillies uniform. And it got me thinking about Ryan Howard's career. Obviously, Mike, he's taken a lot of heat from me, from you, the last about 5 years now.
Well, with the 5-year, $125 million contract, I think
he didn't live up to that.
No,
contract.
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
I think it really hurt him when he had that ACL injury in 2011 in the NLDS.
See, that did hurt him. His power numbers were down even prior to that. Is it because Jason Worth went and left? I don't know. I don't know what impact that did have on him. But that 4-year stretch from 2006 to 2009, that's one of the... you're hard pressed to find a better power hitter through that time period than Ryan Howard. Every year it was 40-plus home runs, 45-plus home runs.
59.
Right, 59 in 2006.
Yes.
But those 4 years, man, 45 home runs, 140-plus RBIs. That is crazy production. And I think it's one of those things that we were enjoying it in the moment, and, we didn't...
You'd be crazy to say that you weren't enjoying that in the moment.
Well, yeah, but it's one of those things that you're not thinking about at the time.
Yeah.
You're just in it. But now, now that we've gained some perspective and we look back on Ryan Howard, one of the best players, I think, one of the best pure power hitters to come through this franchise.
Not to mention, you think about the run we went on from 2007 to 2000.
He was a large part of it.
Yeah.
He was a large part of it.
Yep.
You just think back in the day, all the times he put the ball out of the ball. He was an RBI machine.
He was.
The strikeouts, listen, I've been tough on him for the strikeouts in the last few years, but that's what he is.
Yep.
But when you're putting up 45 home runs and 140 RBIs,
it's not that.
Yeah, 180 strikeouts. All right, we can look the other way on that.
Yeah.
But when you're hitting, 196, 20 home runs, 60 RBIs, and getting paid $25 million a year.
Yeah.
People are going to take issue with that in this town.
Definitely.
And I sort of link this to the Pat Burrell situation. The Pat Burrell contract situation. And really Pat Burrell in general, just think about it. The main issue people had with Burrell was that he's number 1 overall pick. And while he was a good player, didn't quite live up to the expectations we had for him.
Yeah.
And of the contracts he got paid. And look at Ryan Howard sort of the same way. He was a really, really good player, like we said, from 06 through 09. Got the contract, and he got the contract sort of on the tail end of his career.
Yeah, because he was a late bloomer, too.
Yeah, he came up when he was 26.
Yeah.
Like you said, he was a late bloomer.
It's not like he was 23 or 22.
Nah, he came up late.
Yeah.
He came up late, but that's how it went.
It is.
So obviously the guy's never going to be in the Hall of Fame. Doesn't have the numbers for it. You mentioned he came up late. He says he's going to keep playing, and the batting average was terrible, but he had a good power year.
Yeah.
He still got some pop.
I think I could see him playing in either Boston or, playing in the American League with the DH.
Yeah, I think so. I think a team would take a chance on him as a DH. He's still able to put the ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
But it's a shame, and it's a shame to see him go. But at the same time, I recognize, hey, we got to move on. We got to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
It's just, it officially marked the end of an era in Phillies baseball.
Yeah, everyone from the 08 team is gone.
Yeah, he was the last member of the 2008 Phillies roster.
That's crazy. You think about that. You know,
Just think about that for a minute, you know?
And you think about who was the main architect of that.
But just think about that for a minute. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That team's gone. You know, Cole's gone, Chase is gone, Shane, Chooch is...
Cole.
You know, man? Like, it's a shame. It's a little sad. It's a little sad. A lot of good memories with that team. They brought us the title we'd been starving
Victorino in the home run off CC Sabathia.
Yeah, man. It's just, you know, they brought us the title that we've been starving for 28 years.
Yeah.
So, obviously, Ryan Howard, thank you for all that you did. The last couple of years were rough. We understand it, but, you know, we appreciate it. You know?
We do.
He was arguably the best first baseman this franchise has ever seen. And arguably he's not better than Schmidt, but he's one of the best power hitters we've seen come through this franchise.
Definitely.
You know? But, so sad news there, but the better days are coming for the Phillies.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's going to be a few more years till they're ready to contend.
I think Clintock has an idea of what he wants to do with the team, and
they're going in the right direction. They're getting the young guys.
I read an interesting article by CSN about the 2009 season. And how, you know, Middleton, I believe his name is, the owner, you know, he went to Howard and told him, you know, he wanted his trophy back. And at first I was like, what did he mean by that? And then I read the article and he said he wanted them to get that World Series trophy back to Philadelphia.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he's a homegrown guy with us, so he'll always be welcomed here. How he'll be remembered, I think it's still going to be up in the air. I believe there are enough people in this town to recognize and realize what a great player he was in that time. But my fear is that a lot of people are only going to remember the bad here towards the end and forget about all the good that he did. Which is easy to do because that's what's most recent in our memories. But there was a time he was arguably the most feared hitter in all of baseball.
Yeah.
But moving along, we got the Eagles coming up here this Sunday, Week 5, coming off the bye, heading to Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. As it stands, the Eagles are still in first place in the division, depending on what happens. Well, it won't be pending, but depending on what happens tonight in the Minnesota and New York Giants game, they might be in a pretty good position here. Again, only 3 games in for the Eagles, but you know, you got the Eagles at 3-0, the Cowboys are 3-1 with their win over San Fran, and possibly, you know, we'll see what happens with the Giants tonight, and then you have the Redskins there at 2-2. So a pretty close division race so far.
I gotta say, the NFC East looks like a decent division this year.
Yeah, I think it's better than what it's been the last couple of years. Dallas, I'm still not sure. What to make of Dallas.
Well, you look at who they've played so far. They've played New York. They've played Washington. They've played San Francisco. And who was the other team that they played?
Well, run that by me again. They played
New York. They played the Giants.
They lost.
They played
Washington.
San Francisco, Washington. I'll look that up.
Yeah, I can't remember who they just played either, but the division's looking like it's going to be pretty tough here. I'm still not sold on Dallas's defense, specifically their secondary. The Giants, are in a tough stretch right now, and they've got a tough game tonight against Minnesota, which I think they're going to lose. So that's probably going to drop them to 2-2. And then you got the Eagles playing Detroit this week, which I have a bad feeling about this game. They're coming off the bye. I know. And the reason why I'm getting the bad feeling is that
the Bears.
I looked at the line. What's that?
The Bears.
All right, they played the Bears Sunday Night Football. Right, the Cowboys played the Bears. All right, so they haven't really beaten anybody yet.
No.
But, yeah, I just have a bad feeling about the Eagles this week. I don't know. Like, the line came out, and the early line had the Eagles at 2.5-point favorites. So I'm sort of thinking, wow, the Eagles have been really good this year. 3-0 team, coming off a big win against the Steelers, coming off a bye.
That line actually went up to 3.
And it's 3 points now, right. So it's going up. But even still, Vegas doesn't like him that much against the team that stinks. Like, the Lions are not a good team.
Right.
I can say that confidently now. They are not a good team, yet the Eagles are only 3-point favorites. I'd love to say they're going to go 5-0, but I'm not. If I had to pick right now, seeing that, I think they're going to lose this game. But then again, I thought they were going to lose to Pittsburgh.
So we both did.
But
I
don't
even went
know.
as far as to take them in my spread picks.
I just have a bad feeling this week. I don't know. If you had to put a gun to my head right now, I'd say the Eagles lose this game. Just a gut feeling.
Letdown game?
I think it could be, even coming off the bye. That was such a huge win at home against the Steelers, in-state rival. Yeah, and you got the Redskins next week. I think this is going to be I think it's going to be a tough spot for the Birds. I really do. What are your thoughts?
I'll tell you what. As long as they keep it a close game, I think they might lose this game. But as long as they keep it close and they don't let them Detroit doesn't blow them out.
Well, that won't happen. I don't see Detroit blowing them out.
But I think they'll be all right. I think that they might come away with a win here.
Now, the one thing you have going, looks like Zach Ertz is going to be ready to play. Looks like McKelvin will be back. Lane Johnson, his appeal is tomorrow when we upload. I'm going to go ahead and not really going on a limb. Looks like he's going to be out, which that's going to remain to see how big of a factor that's going to be. So you have some good and some bad. You get McKelvin and Ertz back, but you're losing Lane Johnson, your second best offensive lineman. And that's going to hurt.
It is.
There's no doubt that's going to hurt, man. I don't know. I'm worried. I'm worried about the Birds this week. Who are you taking?
I'm going to go Detroit. Go the safe way. Go Detroit. It's a road game. I got Detroit. I
mean, now that my mind could change, but we're recording Monday. I'd have to see the way the line goes and see what the injury reports are looking like. But right now, just seeing those, I just have a bad feeling. And that's why I don't like making the picks on Mondays. You get a different feel for the games at the end of the week.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick right now, this moment on Monday the 3rd, I had to take Detroit. But depending on what way the line goes and what comes after, I could be swayed. Yeah. But right now, this moment in time, I have to take the Lions. I hope I'm wrong. Don't get me wrong. I was glad to be wrong 2 weeks ago. But speaking of wrong, I had to take it on. We're moving along. I had to take it on the chin last week. I had no for 2 week. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Picking those two teams because the Buccaneers suck.
Yes.
And the Jets sure let me down. Those were two stinkers, man.
That bold prediction is that.
Holy hell. But we have to give a nice round of applause to Mike. Finally got off the snide.
I was scoreboard watching at work yesterday.
With the St. Louis Rams taking down the Arizona Cardinals.
LA Rams.
I'm sorry, right. The Los Angeles Rams.
Still get used to that, folks.
Yeah. Taking down the Arizona Cardinals. Unfortunately, you couldn't make a 2-0 week because of Miami, which I warned you about. I warned you about taking the Dolphins this week, but you redeemed yourself. The Rams helped you out, and you got yourself on the board with a nice win. Yes. Finally. So you're going to go ahead and lead it off, Mike. Our Week 5 pick segment, picks against the spread. Mike, tell us who you like this week.
First, we are heading to Minnesota, where the Houston Texans are taking on the Minnesota Vikings.
And that game's in Minnesota.
Yes. The Vikings are 5-point favorites. Give me the Vikings to beat the Texans.
Okay.
And we are going to Cleveland. And Tom Brady returns. And I say he's going to be back with a vengeance. I got the Patriots, 10-point favorites. I'm going with the Patriots over the Browns.
All right. See, you stole one of my plays there.
Oh.
And since you just mentioned it, yeah, I'm taking New England to cover those 10 points as well. I get nervous, double-digit favorites on the road, but, man, you nailed it. The Patriots, they play well coming off controversy. They're going to be fired up. They just lost a home game to the Buffalo Bills.
They got shut out.
They got dominated. I think this is a really, really bad spot for the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, you got Brady coming back. He's going to be fired up. I think they destroy the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. I like the Patriots to win that game very easily. So give me the Patriots to cover the 10 points and then some. And then I'm going to go to Baltimore. You got the Ravens taking on those Washington Redskins. Ravens coming off a tough home loss. The Redskins, they were able to eke one out against the Browns. They were down that game for a while. Obviously, Baltimore had their own problems with the Browns, but I like the Ravens. I don't see them dropping back-to-back games at home. So you give me the Ravens. They're 3.5-point favorites against the Redskins. So I'll take Baltimore at the 3.5 to cover that, and I'll take New England to cover the 10 points on the road as well. So we've both got the same play. That's the first time. We'll see how that happens. I think that's a good play.
That is. I think it's, you're talking about the return of Tom Brady.
That might be your lock of the week.
The Patriots are going to be hyped up. They're going to be fired up. I think that it looks like a favored Patriots line right
there. So there you go. I've got Baltimore minus 3.5 and New England at minus 10. Mike's got New England at minus 10 and Minnesota at minus 5.5. Right, 5.5.
Yes.
All right, Minnesota minus 5.5 against the Texans. So, time for trivia now. We're going to go ahead. We're going to reset the trivia after this week. Audience, once again, failed to provide a correct answer to this week's trivia question, or this past week's trivia question. Mike, remind everybody what it was.
When was the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia?
All right, so now I'm on the clock for it this week.
Yes.
All right, so just to officially clinch it. It's already been clinched, but this is kind of just a rub salt in the wound. The touchdown when you're up 48-0.
Yes.
All right, well, because every 4 years. So I'm going to say 2008.
You would be wrong.
What year was it?
I remember telling you that I spit my 1965.
Wow. 1965. The last time they beat the Eagles in Philadelphia. Wow. So there it is. 1965. The last time the Steelers beat the Eagles in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Man. Oh, I never would have gotten that. Whew.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people would have gotten that either.
All right, so we're going to reset the scoreboard starting this week. It's back 0-0. Dave and Mike against the audience. Mike's got a new trivia question for us this week. What is it, my friend?
Who was the last Philadelphia Flyer, to score 40 goals in a season?
Oh, I like that. In honor of the Flyer season starting.
Yes.
There you go. Name the last Philadelphia Flyer player to score 40 goals in a season. You can hit us up with that on Twitter, on YouTube, on the Facebook page. Even SoundCloud has some write-ins. So hit us up with that. See if you guys can get round 2 here. We've so far we're up 1-0 in the series.
Yes.
Audience, see if we can take round 2. So we're gonna move it along here. The shout-outs, and I guess I'll kick it off. I guess we'll split this up. We'll figure out how to split this up. We're still on YouTube. We gained, I'm running the YouTube thing too, and we gained a new YouTube subscriber. But when I go, it doesn't tell me who the subscriars are.
That is annoying.
It's like all hidden. Sometimes
I might know who it is though.
Sometimes it shows, and other times it doesn't. So our YouTube subscriber, it says you got to make yourself public to get the shout outs, but sometimes it shows me the list and other times it doesn't. So a YouTube subscriber, whoever you are, we're going to give you a shout out. Make yourself public. If it shows up on the list, we'll make sure we get you in a future episode, but shout out to you. Then we're going to head over to SoundCloud. We gained 2 new followers. We have Young Baron followed us, and the Fuzz NBA podcast. I guess they're looking for some good Sixers info.
Yeah.
It'll be a good place to get it. A little disappointing without Ben Simmons. And then Twitter. I guess I'll do the first 2, and you got the rest. All right, Twitter. We're going to give shout-outs to Elena Campbell. Follow us on Twitter. And Brendan Cassidy, one of the big sports talk following on Twitter. Shout-outs to you guys.
Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles for life. Valerie Petticone, Billy Nation, and 215 Sports Nation.
Again, guys, thank you for all the support. Continue to follow us on Twitter.
It means a lot to us.
Yeah, it does. It does. You guys are what makes this happen. We're looking to keep growing, and you guys are doing that for us, so we appreciate it. So again, we're on iTunes. Hit us up with the download. We're on YouTube, SoundCloud. Like us on Facebook, The Philly Pod. Hit us up on Twitter, @The Philly Pod. And coming down to a close here, Mike. There's a big Eagles game coming up this weekend. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Flyers are going to be wrapping up the preseason next, the 14th?
This week.
Well, I mean, the season opens on the 14th.
Yeah, the 14th.
So what is that? Is that going to be a Friday?
Wednesday.
Okay.
They start off on the West Coast.
Right.
Which I can't stand.
Wow.
I'm not a fan of the West Coast games on a weekday.
Well, they're late, but obviously you and I have to work during the day.
Yeah.
But we'll catch the highlights.
Yeah, we will.
We'll get the good stuff early on. Anything you want to see this week, Mike?
Just want to see the Eagles come away with a win, and at least want to see.
I'm worried.
I am too.
I'm worried about that game.
But I want to see Wentz continue to progress. Yeah, even if they lose this,
Before we go, is this the game he stumbles a little bit?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I'll say it is. I think he stumbles a little bit. I'm hoping I'm wrong.
We've been wrong before.
Yeah,
dude.
I got the Eagles going down as of right now, but hey, hopefully I'm wrong. We're 4-0 come next time we broadcast next week. Time to sign off. I'm Dave.
I'm Mike.
Catch you guys next week on the Philly Pod.
Later.